Welcome back to the Schmoedown Respin presented by Cinetopical. Nate here on the desk, as always, with my good friend Strange Wang. Another week of the movie trivia Schmoedown. Lots of interesting things to talk about this week. The Elba-Alba controversy continuing. Christian finally speaks out on that. We'll also talk about Kevin Smets' current state in the inner geekdom, the time lapse between winning his title and defending the next one. We have Parker versus Ace predictions coming up, another rookie match, and obviously the thing on everyone's mind, especially our own Strange Wangs, the return of the FINSTOCK. Before we get into any of those things, controversy, no stranger to the Schmoedown, and a little bit more coming to light this week, specifically surrounding Chandru. So apparently Christian has come out and mentioned that Chandru went on a non-Schmoedown affiliated channel, had some things to say about how he would run the league if he were in charge of it. Apparently displeased with some things happening. Christian very displeased with Chandru doing that. In fact, it turns out that it almost cost him his title shot.
Christian definitely playing the boss card.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what it feels like to me too. I actually have some pretty strong feelings about this. This kid, obviously he's shown that he's incredibly smart. He's shown that he can study, he can get better at the game. He's a legit contender in the inner geekdom right now. I don't think there's any denying that whatsoever. But son, you are fresh, okay? You have not put any time in this league, okay? You have not played anyone super noteworthy. I know that you played Smets once already and lost, all right? But you never had to play Rachel Cushing. You never had to play Jason Inman. You never had to play Navarro when he was the good version of Navarro. Okay, this guy has no room to be talking about how anything should be run in this league. I think if he does talk about how he thinks things should be ran in this league, it's because he's just mad that he's not winning. And I think that sometimes people who are incredibly smart have a tendency to think that that means other people are dumb. And to be completely honest, I'm not a huge fan of his demeanor. And I hope that Christian bringing this stuff out helps him get his shit together and he can move on and be a little bit better because he is an incredibly talented player. There's no doubt about that. But
speaking about demeanor, big topic on it backstage, ran by Karloff himself, about is he a heel or a face? Because he comes out, he does the dancing. Winston Marshall's his manager. He's obviously a face.
Right.
And, well, in wrestling terms, if you want someone to be a face, but they're a heel and they can't really do the heel thing, don't have them talk. The manager, they do all the heel stuff for him. But he likes to talk, and he likes to talk like a heel.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, I think it would be better to make him a heel, and then it adds another layer to him and Winston's relationship.
Sure.
So I think you tell him, hey, you got to be a heel. This is how you be a heel.
Yeah.
And push it. Because I'm kind of with Christian. There's a lot of tweeners. And I feel like tweener status is more to the, like, singles, like, Roca, Bateman. Because they play a heel game, but they give face promos. And that's how they play the game. It's very good. Like, they also have faces like Merle or Cushing when she was playing, or Clark. But I feel like, I don't know, it's more of a high echelon tier of you've been in the league so long you earned it to be a tweener.
Yeah.
So I think you should make him heel.
And honestly, coming off of this controversy, whether he's embarrassed about Christian calling him out on it or not, this might be the best time to roll that way. You know, It's out there now. Just take what you got and roll with it. I think if they fully committed to him being that, I think it could work out really well. That being said, onto another topic of controversy. Obviously, everyone at this point in the Schmoedown community is aware of the Elba-Alba controversy. Christian came out on Backstage today to discuss that. A lot of competitors upset about lack of consistency within rulings. Christian said there is consistency in the ruling, and the consistency is it's going to be a case-by-case basis, and it's going to be on whoever is the judge that day. Regardless, well, you can tell us how you feel about it. How you feel about that?
I'll tell you how I feel about it.
I could tell you wanted to tell me how you felt about it.
I feel like that statement by Christian Harloff is consistently nonsense. Now, what can we do about it? Nothing. Everyone talked about it. Clark Wolf talked about it. Harloff talked about it. Bateman, Roca, Smets probably talked about it. Mark and Draco talked about it. Ben Bateman's third cousin, twice removed with the glass eye, talked about it. John Roca's grandmother talked about it. Everyone talked about it. Who won? Who's the boss? Still won. It didn't change anything. I think we can learn from this situation. And someone said it on Backstage, and I was thinking it. It's another strategy to the game. Who's on the table? Do these challenges go in that favor? Bateman, he's a master of studying.
Yep.
Take notes, everyone else in the league. Look who's on the table that day. Find out who's going to be on the table that day in advance for your match.
Right.
I think that's fair to let people know.
Yep.
And make it a strategy.
Yep. And that's my point exactly. Christian, this is his thing. If he says that's the rule, that's the rule. So why not turn it into another point of strategy? I know there are a lot of people who would rather this game just be about movie trivia. Who knows the most
More
trivia?
of like a sports league, and that's a sports league type thing.
If you knew it was Idris Elba, who cares if you spelled it right if you obviously knew it? But the strategy is what makes the Schmoedown the Schmoedown. Okay, you do get your repeats. You do get your challenges. You do get to pick what's on the wheel. Okay, you do get to learn your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. You do get to know when to check. Like, there's so much strategy that goes into this game. And personally, I think the more elements of strategy that are added into it, the more legitimacy it gives it.
Yeah.
This is like a sports thing. Some refs are better than other refs. Some refs are more biased towards certain fouls than other refs are. And this is just another element, just like you said. Okay, what kind of stuff does Mark lean towards if he's the ref? What kind of stuff does Ken lean towards? What kind of stuff does Clark lean towards? Obviously, if it's a spelling issue, I don't want to challenge it if Christian's on the desk. So that can actually be a big tool, I think, that competitors can put in their tool bag.
It's very easy to study, too. All you got to do is go back and watch nothing but Roca and Snyder matches.
Yeah, there's a challenge every game, if not more than one. Speaking of strategy, Kevin Smets finds himself in a really interesting position right now in that a lot of time has gone by between him winning the Innergeekdom title and him getting a chance to defend it, partly because competitors, Mark Anopik, Kalinowski, other people deciding that they didn't necessarily want to participate in the league at this point in time for whatever their reasons may be. We know he's going to play Chandru next, but because of the coronavirus putting another live match off, we don't know when that's going to be. So, the amount of time that Smets is going to have to wait between winning that title and his first attempt at a title defense, is that going to ultimately help him in the long run, give him more time to study, give him more time to put his nose to the grind, or is that the rust of the lights going to set in? You know, sometimes when you're playing golf, you can be having a great game, nobody's in front of you, you're in your flow, and then all of a sudden you run into that foursome that won't let you play through, and having to slow down really gears up your game. So,
on backstage, Kevin Smets spoke about this too, his 5-week training regiment, and I think he'll be fine.
Will Chandru and his own little brand of uniqueness and all the controversy that's going on right now, will that get into Smets' head going into the next match?
I think we saw it on backstage. Roca pointed it out. Every time Chandru had something to say, nipping at the heels was Kevin Smets with his retort, and it did look like he was in his head a little bit. I think he has more to prove. I think Andrew Guy was also on backstage. He laid it out perfectly. You just told everyone on backstage that when Jay Washington called you a bitch, it got in your head. So if I'm Chandru, I'm throwing that at you every chance I can. I'm writing it on the whiteboard. I'm passing it to you, you know? I'm doing everything I can to get into your head. I think he is in his head a bit.
Sure.
And I think once that round's going, towards the end of the round, Kaiser can't jump in there and save him.
We have another rookie match airing next week. We have Parker versus Ace. What are your predictions for this match coming up?
So me and you and I were fortunate enough to be a part of the Schmoedown when it was in Atlanta, watching it from the crowd. We actually sat across from Parker, and 2 minutes before he ran up on stage, he was out of his seat, moving back and forth, pacing, which told me, oh, he's going to run on stage. I think I tapped you and told you, hey, that dude, he's in the dungeon. And then by the end of the match, hey, he's about to run on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened, he ran on stage. Harloff said he missed a couple beats he wanted him to hit on backstage, previous backstage. So I think, like the Kanye West song says, all of the lights, I think it's going to get to Parker. I think he's going to lose based on that. Ace, he's done Schmo Snow. He's been under the lights. He's been out of these pressure situations. So I think Ace is going to pull it out in this rookie match.
Yeah, I think of the numbers-wise, you're probably correct. I do like Parker. I like his spunky little attitude. He's wiry. He's in there. I think that he could definitely have a potential future in this league. He's got the character for it. You need character.
Yeah.
You need trivia. And you need resolve. We'll see if he can push through the lights. Before we get into this week's match, a very special segment aired beforehand revealing a key part of the Schmoedown story going forward. Yes, it's true, ladies and gentlemen, regardless of your opinion about the man, the myth, the undeniable legend, Bob FINSTOCK has returned to the Schmoedown. Strange Wang.
I think this is fantastic, personally. He's a legend in the league. Comes with a lot of experience. This man took JT on his back to a team tournament final. He, again, carried them to 8 title defenses with Jeff Snyder. Nothing but wonderful things are here to come with FINSTOCK back in the league.
And to be honest with you, I haven't always been his biggest fan, but I couldn't agree with you more. That being said, with the FINSTOCK alter ego to Tom Dagnino and or Bobby Gucci coming into play, will we see more shenanigans like we saw with Mark Andreyko when he wore the mask and became FINSTOCK to compete? Or do you think we'll just have all 3 of them in one nice, neat, kind of ripped package?
No, I think FINSTOCK takes over for manager from here. To diffuse some of the tension that Bobby Gucci left with the not choosing everyone at once. It's a fresh start, so I think it's the best.
With that being said, let's get into this week's match. This week we had the Orlando fan competition winner, Jader Paramo. We were lucky enough to be there for that, to see that happen, versus Glow actress Brittany Young. Round 1, maybe some softballs for the rookies coming in. Some kind of easy questions in there. After a few misses on both sides, Jader does come out of the round with a 1-point lead. Strange Wang, what did you think of the rookies' performance in round 1?
I thought it was fun. It wasn't as good as me. I was playing at home. I scored a perfect game, like I usually do. But
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Going into round 2, Jader defers to Young, lets her spin first. She initially hits Thrillers, chooses to spin again. We have 2 rookies here. We don't really know what their strengths or weaknesses are, so it's really hard to say if spinning away from Thrillers was a good call for her or not. She ends up landing on Oscars. She gets 4 points in the round on her questions, however, does lose a point to Jader on a documentary question. We like documentaries. Jader, on his spin, hits Crime, decides to keep it. Jader did not know that the Bobby D directed A Bronx Tale. Strange Wang, on a scale of 0 to 10, how disappointed are you?
I was fuming. That's my favorite movie of all time. So as soon as that question came up, I was just like, knowing that's not a very popular movie, the most underrated film of all time is A Bronx Tale, so I'm not surprised that he missed it.
Yeah.
But both navigating the rounds very well in round 2, knowing when and when not to go to multiple choice. So for rookies, good for them.
Yeah. Young does end up guessing De Niro. I'm still not 100% sure how confident she was that the right answer, but does hit it, which gives her a 1-point lead going into the round 3. So we see the lead flip from round 1 to round 3. Rookie's giving us a little bit of drama going in there. Jader hits his 2-pointer, bounces it back to Brittany Young. She hits hers as well. It's back to Jader for his 3-pointer. He easily nails that one. So it goes back to Brittany for her 3-pointer. And here's when maybe the lights start to kick in on the young rookie. She misses her 3-pointer, goes to the 5. She has to get this to keep the match going. However, she has no clue and essentially concedes the match to Jader in the process. What are your thoughts on both of these showings initially?
I think they're both very good. I think with her being a rookie, Kaiser, with not winning a match this season, throw her in a tag team, with someone more experienced so they can play off each other. With these rookies coming into the league, Kaiser can't always be there, the manager.
Right.
Someone experienced, and then you can have a manager while in the match too.
Yeah.
So, but with what's the guy's name?
Jader.
Sorry, Jader. I think him winning, I think the lights got to him. We saw him play in Florida. Mm-hmm. He played very well. I don't think he missed a question while in Florida. So I think once he gets past the lights and everything, he'll be very good.
Yeah,
because he wasn't confident on his spin. He didn't respin. He was just like, there's worse things on the wheel. I think he needs to go to the Ben Bateman School of Studying. He's helped out many other competitors in the past. Mm-hmm. So I think studying, he's going to be a great competitor in the future. Regardless
of the rookie rust that he did show, you can't overlook this borderline Cinderella story. A fan who just happens to win an event in Orlando comes to compete in the Schmoedown against a known actress on a Netflix TV show, comes out with the win. No, it wasn't the biggest opponent in the world, but he still showed that he can come in here. I agree with you. I think once he gets more used to the lights, more used to the competition itself, I think that he could actually have a decent potential future in this league.
Agreed.
That being said, in the post-game interview, the Barbarian comes out from our very own FINSTOCK Exchange. Not an official challenge to a match, but it does look like that's leaning towards being his next opponent. What do you think about that matchup?
Non-biased.
Mm-hmm.
Barbarian, he was a rookie as well. Breezed through his match with ease. So I think it's going to come down to, is he ready for the lights?
Mm-hmm.
Is Jader going to be ready for the lights? So I have Barbarian for now. I hope it is a league plate match. I don't know where he's from. So he might resonate in Florida. So Jader, if he can get there, we don't know when we're going to see the match. Hopefully sooner than later.
For sure. I do think that having him play the Barbarian next is a great kind of like stepping stones into the league.
Yeah.
We've seen the Barbarian play. We know that he can compete in this league. Still not necessarily one of the more well-known players, not the most respected player. A bit of a gimmicky character. So I think that is a great choice for Jader's next opponent.
Yeah.
Give him a chance to knock a little bit more of that light off his eyes and things like that. Super excited to see where that goes. In regards to Jader's winning, we did try to reach out to Sam Levine for a comment, but much like his faction, we couldn't find him. We have no idea where he is either. But if you find him, let us know. Thank you guys so much for watching Cinetopical Schmoedown Respin, and as always, like, share, comment, and subscribe.